Don't do it. Don't risk your life. I promise you it's not going to be worth it.
Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So lovely.
So my process to choose somewhere for you, and I thought to share where people are reacting to the fact that they don't actually feel safe to go out there to shop on November 1st. So many people are of the opinion that it's actually good for you to just stay home, then observe the situation before going out there. We all know the SNAP benefit food cut off and the way at which is making a lot of people to panic. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip and some prevention measures I was able to put up together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it, as well as to actually understand the concept and the reason why safety is actually the first major prominence of this whole situation. Let's
Don't do it. Don't risk your life. I promise you it's not going to be worth it. So by now, you've all probably heard about the EBT and SNAP benefits going away on November 1st. Well, since that, multiple videos have come out of people talking about, I'm going to get mine. It doesn't matter if they shut that bitch off or not. I'm still going to go in that store and get what I need to provide for my family. And I don't condone stealing, but you gotta do what you gotta do to provide for your children. But to all the people that work in those grocery stores, do not get involved. I promise you it is not gonna be worth it for you. Because at the end of the day, it's not your fucking money. You're still gonna get paid. Because the people that are planning on doing this already have the intent in the back of their head. I'm going in there, I'm gonna get my fucking food, and I'm gonna go back home. So if you try and get involved, one of two things is gonna happen to you. You're either A, gonna get fucked up, or B, sent home in a box. Because if I see somebody with a cart full of groceries running for the door, I'm just gonna sit back and watch and be like, damn, they gonna be eating good. Because after what Kathleen Kirk just said about this being the one leverage we have, talking about Democrats, yeah, I wouldn't blame y'all for 1 second for doing this shit. So if you haven't seen this, go look it up. If you have seen it, let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Stop scrolling. I need every single one of you to listen to this video. If you don't listen to another video of mine this very next month, this one you need to listen to because it's your safety at hand, okay? If SNAP does not get renewed, hear me on this. If SNAP does not get renewed, be careful when going to the grocery store, okay? Husbands, do not let your wives go in the grocery store at all, okay? And if they do have to go with them, all right? Watch your backs. And also watch out for single mothers as well, okay? If you see a woman in the grocery store, just kind of look after her. Not saying to be weird, but, look after her, because going into this next month, if SNAP gets cut off, you guys remember how it was with toilet paper, with no toilet paper. This right here is food. And you know how it is when it comes to food, okay? People, it's going to look a lot worse, if it continues that way. It may not be in the beginning, but if people start getting hungry enough, they're going to start going in, take what they need. There have already been people saying that they're going to go into grocery stores to take what they need with this very situation. All right. So you need to be extremely, extremely careful. All right. Do not let your moms, if you can help it, go in the grocery store by themselves or at all. Don't let your grandmas do it. Don't let your wife do it. Okay, don't let your sister do it. Men, hear me on this. This is the time that when you go to the grocery store, you double check. Hey, honey, do you need anything? What do we need? Or your mom, hey, mom, do you need anything? Grandma, what do you need? Or if you have any friends that are women that are single moms that, hey, do you need anything while I'm at the store? Anything like that. Not on anything weird, but things like that. And do not let your children go in there either. All right? Without at the very least, without your, at the very foundational level, your supervision with them, but don't let them go in at all, if they don't have to. All right. You do everything this month, men, because it could get very dangerous. It could get very wicked. When you take a look in the Bible, this is not famine. So I want to make it clear. This is not famine. All right. Because the food is there. You know, people are just they've been talking about they're going to go get it. Nevertheless, Jesus tells us at the time of the end, there will be wars, rumors of wars, famines, pestilences, and all of that. What you're going to see if SNAP does not get renewed and if people carry out the threats that they're making, it's going to mirror how it is when a famine hits. Okay. And you know how it is when a famine hits. People, they start getting, out there. In fact, I believe it was Josephus, if I remember correctly. It could have been another. Anyways, during the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, people started eating their young. You get what I mean by that. That's happened in history whenever God has judged a nation, different things like that. If Senate cannot reach a vote and the SNAP does not get passed and, Democrats don't join in with the Republicans to, do the final votes, which, they haven't been the last weeks and stuff. Hopefully you have some Democrats like Fetterman did it, but hopefully others will follow his, way and vote to reopen the government. Then they can negotiate on other stuff, but just so people won't starve. You see what I'm saying? Because, from my understanding, the GOP, they've got all the votes that they could do, minus, a few, but it's hanging on the Democrats to, finish it. And they say that it's leverage. People aren't leverage. People, starving people aren't leverage. Democrats, hear me on that. All right. And, people, well, Ty, that's for this reason. It's not leverage. All right. Reopen the government and negotiate everything else. But don't let people starve behind this. It's irritating because anyways, this also shows for this time period, for those that are struggling, listen. See if your area has any food banks, churches, things like that. A good thing that you can look at, even when buying cheap food to help you come up with good recipes, ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT, what's an affordable meal that I can make, $10 that tastes good? It'll give you something. All right. So that's just some tips for you. But be careful when going to the grocery store this next month. Pray, trust God, draw into Him. You saw how they did with toilet paper. This is food. So keep that in mind. For those of you that like Bible content like this and just overall content as such, you can hit follow for more or subscribe on YouTube with the bell icon to be notified when I upload. Now, the deadline is 2 days away. This month, for those of you that struggle, with spirits, you want to learn deliverance, self-deliverance, you want to learn about breaking free from witchcraft, unforgiveness, unhealed trauma, all of these things, because people don't realize that if you don't forgive, Jesus said you can't be forgiven. And it can open the door to spirits of torment. We're going to be teaching on deliverance from these things.
Americans, y'all need to be careful this weekend. Let me explain why. I don't know if you've noticed, but America is a powder keg right now, and pretty much all of us are holding a match. We're about armpit deep in a government shutdown right now. There's a bunch of federal workers not getting paid, and a bunch of people are about to lose EBT. Now, if EBT goes away this weekend, a lot of people have said that they're going to go raid their local stores and maybe even their neighbors' homes. They're going to feed their babies one way or another because that's America's responsibility. The taxpayers' responsibility is to take care of them, and if they're not going to do that through EBT, they're going to do that by donating their own stuff. That's the general sentiment. This weekend, we're going to have a ton of Americans that are going to go absolutely ballistic in the streets. What this means for you is, one, you might want to go do your grocery shopping. Unfortunately, I hate to be that guy and incite panic buying, but you might want to get some stuff. Don't go clear out the shelves, but make sure that you have food for the next week or two until this boils over. Now, if there's mass civil unrest this weekend, government responses are going to be a little bit slow because of, the government shutdown. What this means is we're in a period of very heightened vulnerability, and there's going to be a lot of bad actors out there on the streets taking advantage of it. You need to be very, very careful of where you go and when you go if this starts to pop off. If you see that EBT is actually getting canceled, you might want to, stay home for a little bit. It could end up being nothing, but it could end up being the start. All I'm saying is be aware. This is a very dynamic environment, and you need to know what is happening around you. I love you. Pay attention. Be blessed.
In this week's edition of Ain't No Fucking Way, the raggedy ass, dusty ass, mildewy, cluttered, stankin' ass Dollar General in downtown Columbus, Ohio has boarded up, citing fear of crime and break-ins and theft on day one, November 1st, when people lose their SNAP benefits. So some random official with Dollar General, who wouldn't name themselves, told the press that they're working with a city security group that focuses on that specific area and its security. And they recommended that they board up the store in anticipation of people looting and stealing food on day one, November 1st, when people first lose their SNAP benefits. Not even day 2, not day 12, day 1. And they would not tell the press who this city security group was either. Their store manager told the press that the employees received notice from Dollar General headquarters that someone from the company would be sent over to cover up its entryways. He was quoted saying, "They're thinking this Saturday on the 1st, day one, that there's going to be a lot of looting because people aren't going to get their food stamps. So we put the boards up so nobody could break in." And they look stupid as hell because no other stores in the area, in the entire city, have taken these measures. There's actually a full-scale grocery store, a Kroger, in the same area of the city that has not taken any sort of measures for the potential of looting on day one of people losing their SNAP benefit. City Council President Shannon Hardin said, "That actually pisses me off. That to me is saying that we think folks who need a little extra help are some kind of violent criminals." Yes, you are literally criminalizing anybody who is on SNAP. You are saying that if they lose their benefits on day one, they're going to come to this raggedy motherfucker that barely gets any business and loot? First of all, nobody is thinking about looting. And if they were, it wouldn't be no raggedy ass Dollar General, because they would trip and fall and probably pass away in these unorganized ass Dollar General stores that keep unpacked boxes in those big ass rolling racks and pallets all over the fucking aisles because they can't keep any employees to stock the fucking shelves. So how would anybody quickly get in and out and grab anything without tripping and passing away? This is disgusting and deplorable behavior, and I hope that they lose business over this bullshit. They look so dumb because no other businesses have done this and no other Dollar General has done this. So this specific store, please lose business. Somebody needs to humble these motherfuckers because this was ugly and deplorable and shameful. This is not how you respond to a crisis like this. We need to help each other. We need to build community. We need mutual aid. What we don't need is these assholes criminalizing people who need help.
Child, Walmart said there will be no stealing at a Walmart. We don't give a fuck if y'all don't got y'all EBT, but y'all not gonna come in this bitch and motherfucking steal. And I don't blame them for that. Because y'all been all up in the internet flaunting saying that if y'all don't get y'all EBT by November 1st, y'all coming in that bitch stealing full carts, running straight at the door. Mr. Walmart said that's not going to happen. What's going to take place and what you're going to do is either you're going to order online and pick your groceries up, or you're going to order and you're going to come inside and pick your groceries up at the front. But y'all not coming in this establishment and thinking that y'all finna come in my shit and motherfucking steal. And I know that's right. Clock it. And I get it on both ends. I know times is hard, but stealing food from Walmart is not going to benefit us. They just going to incarcerate us. That's all they're going to do. The jail's going to be at full capacity because motherfuckers decided that because they are hungry and they can't get food, they're going to go into the store and steal. It's a fucking setup. Don't let them trick y'all out y'all freedom just because y'all hungry. Like I said, I get it. I understand. But you got to be smarter than that. Them people are not fucking playing about their merchandise. And then y'all was saying it all over the internet, like, y'all gotta be cool, keep that shit low key. Why the fuck would y'all say that shit out loud? Be cool. So now they on everybody else that come in there November 1st.
It up on the side of TikTok where everybody is talking about how it will be unsafe to be in grocery stores November 1st because they're not giving out SNAP benefits. So people are going to be desperate. It won't be safe to go to the grocery store alone. Women need to be careful. People are going to attack people in the parking lots. Are we really thinking that's going to happen? I mean, I'm kind of the person that says you got to be prepared. And I always have food in the house, but I don't think we have to worry about getting attacked in the Walmart parking lot because we have a cart full of food. Do we?
Give us the state of things. How serious is this situation?
Incredibly serious. The people relying on this benefit are our most vulnerable. For the most part, they're making less than $1,000 a month, right? This means that they may not be able to pay their rent. They may not be able to pay childcare. They may not be able to have food on the table for their children when they come home. And this will set them back. These are individuals who are living paycheck to paycheck, veterans, older adults, people with disabilities who are counting on this fund. It's, this program is supposed to be supplemental, but for many people, this is their sole food budget.
What do you make of the USDA saying they're not going to release emergency funds to cover the SNAP shortfall? And if they were to release the funds, would it cover everything?
It would cover a portion of it. But USDA also has other types of access. They have the authority to do so. They utilized it for WIC, where they funded it for $300 million. There's Section 32, which has billions of dollars as well to be able to cover the $2 billion or $3 billion that would be needed in order to cover the whatever's now left in the contingency funding. But the Nutrition Act is clear. The Secretary has the authority, has the contingency fund that Congress gives to her to be able to utilize it at such a time as this, which is the entitlement program, so that benefits could be funded and not delayed.
So, Gina, has the contingency funding, because that's $5 billion, has that been used in a case like this? Because the USDA in this memo says that funding is really just for disaster situations. And then in this memo, they do call out Democrats specifically, saying that they need to open up the government in order for people to get their food stamps. What do you make of that?
I say this is a man-made disaster that could be easily avoided. Regardless of what's going on in the shutdown, that's why Congress gives, both parties, gives the Secretary the authority to be able to utilize this contingency funds. And they're currently using them to pay administrative funding. Because remember, the benefit amounts, that always comes from the government, and USDA and the states cover 50 and 50% the administrative costs. So that contingency fund is currently being used for that. So there's no reason for them to not be able to utilize the rest of the funding to cover SNAP benefits and utilize other Section 32 or CCC funding in order to make sure that people's benefits get there on time.
So what do you say to people who say that this is a political move?
People are not chess pieces, right? These are individuals who are not going to, their landlord's not going to say, oh, I'm sorry that the Secretary of Agriculture is not utilizing her authority to be able to issue funds. People are going to have to make hard choices. And it would just, again, remind individuals that it's a contract that you enter when you sign that application, that you will receive these benefits. It's never happened in the history, and we just don't want this to continue. And so we really are pushing for the Secretary to utilize her authority to be able to issue these funds regardless of what's going on with the shutdown.
Internet is actually reacting to the fact that so many people do not find it, SAFE to go out there to shop on the November 1st. We all know that the government is trying to cut off starting November 1st, there is nothing like SNAP benefit, and this has actually made so many people to panic, especially people who are under this, government assistance. So many of them are like, oh my God, how would they survive? So many even, is going out of their way to say that they're just going to do anything possible, everything possible to make sure that their children or themselves feed. So they can actually go to any lengths to, get themselves fed. And the truth is that this has actually, sparked a lot of panic, and people were asking questions if it is actually advisable to go out there, or to actually go shop. So many people are of the opinion that it's best for people to just stay home and observe the situation and the system and know at the way at which people are reacting to that. So, they say that a hungry man is an angry man, and when an angry man, decide to go out there to hunt, they can actually hunt and hunt. So because of that, people are like, okay, what do we need to do? And I also heard that there are a lot of companies, especially all these, coming out there to look for ways to contribute, to share food, to share food to everyone, like to less privileges. And I think I'm gonna stitch the video after this or before that, or maybe tomorrow probably, because I've heard so many news of people, so many companies coming together and finding ways to help this less privileged, or I won't use the word less privileged, or people who their SNAP benefit has been actually cut off. So many organizations are taking it upon themselves to actually feed masses, and I actually think it's a good thing. But the issue of this of the rumor we've been hearing about Walmart trying to shut their doors, or people planning to do one or two things because of the ongoing what I call it, quote unquote, crisis about food shortage and all of that, is something that is concerning, and a lot of people are showing interest and trying to bring out some prevention measures. Also, warning people or telling people not to actually go out there to do what they wouldn't be proud of, because at the end of the day, even if you have any intention to go out there to cause havoc, you're not only destroying the system, you're just creating a bad name for yourself, and also you are trying to jeopardize people who actually are working there. I think it's not even the fault of the poor or the middle class. I think this should be the energy and the backlash and all of that should be channeled on top of these, millionaires or the people in charge. So I think people going out of the way to maybe do something that they will not be proud of is just giving adding salt into an injury. I think there are so many ways to actually calm down, review this, and the way at which some companies are also coming out to share their support to actually tell the public that okay, I'm going to do one or two things. I like I like the fact that so many other creators are even coming out, people creating avenues to help people who actually. I'm going to stitch the video though, but I just decided that I was just gonna put up these prevention safety measures first before that other one. So in an essence, I think that it's best for one to just actually calm down on November 1st, try to observe what is happening, try to get more information if they if they actually put through with cutting down the SNAP benefit, or there is something that is going to happen maybe at the end of the day that might change their mind. And the thing is that the government is still shut down, so I don't even know how possible the food or the SNAP benefit is not going to cut, or is not going to get shut up. So I think it might even proceed. I think they will go ahead with it. So what are you doing about it? What is your prevention measure? How are you going to feed, like which other thing do you have to lay your hands on? And with that being said, there are still some companies, I think Audi, yeah, that I think they're giving out food. I have seen a couple of videos and I've tried to see if I can make more research on it. I have not really gotten my hand with the full details, so that is why I've not really stitched it here. So as soon as I've gotten my hand on full details about how some of these companies are trying to help out, I'm going to stitch it. I have gotten one or two resources, but I just want to see if it's something that is valid before trying to stitch it here. I've seen one or two stitches of people talking about it, about how Audi is going to help people coming November, and some other organization which I have not really verified. I'm going to do that and put it up here. But with that being said, just know as the way at which you can just manage, I don't know. I think this period in time is a period of helping your neighbor as yourself, or loving your neighbor as that self. Anyway, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So, lovelies, if you've not subscribed to our channel, please do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like this video, and I'm gonna see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.
Share, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.